would love to host you tonight at Blue Ridge, but due to safety concerns and COVID, we're unable to do that. So we've turned this event into a not only virtual event, so you should have received a series of videos, but also a town hall. So in the town hall event, you get a chance to meet me kind of live, okay? And I wish we were all together and I was shaking hands and, having stories. And some of you I may know from older siblings. And you also have a chance tonight to meet our assistant principals, next year's dean for your child, and counselor and our lead counselor. So we've got some special guests tonight. So we are going to go over a series of important parts of the culture of Blue Ridge so that you can begin, especially if it's your first child, to get to know us, because we are really excited to get to know you. So we've got a series of about just 10 slides where you will hear from me as the principal and from the two assistant principals, your dean, your counselor, and our lead counselor about many different aspects of how much fun we have at Blue Ridge, how family-oriented we are, how we take care of all children, how we strive for high achievement, and take care of the socio-emotional well-being of everyone. At the end, we do have an opportunity, and we've got many questions coming in for some live event chat. So we see tonight taking between 35 and 45 minutes, but we will stay on and answer a series of questions to try to make sure that we really spread the wealth of knowledge, even though we're not all together. So we're going to get started. Hold on one second. It's not changing.
Here, hold on.
Okay, so bear with us with our VR spot. So you are seeing the class of 2028, and that is a really important number. And as an rising secondary parent, having your children being known as a class may seem a little different. And I know the first time, because I've got a child, all my children have moved through middle school. When I heard the class of 2028 or the class of 2027, it was like, whoa, my child's still in elementary school, but now we're categorizing them as a class. But what's special about that, and something we take really seriously at Blue Ridge, is that we create the class of 2028 as sixth grade students next year when they all come together from 7 feeder elementary schools. And that's a really big deal. Not only are the students the class of 2028, but you as parents become the class of 2028. And you will make new friendships with parents who are members of the class of 2028, just like the students will make new friends. And it is a great growth experience. It's very collaborative. We all come together and we have a lot of fun. So welcome, class of 2028. So there is a picture of my son. He is a 6th grade student. Now, he is in college, but this 6th grade student is one that I took, and he did come through Blue Ridge many, many years ago. Well, take a look at the next picture. The first picture was his first day of 6th grade, and the second picture is his last day of 8th grade. Look at the difference in how much he grew. The reason I share that is because middle school is about growth, both in academics, achievement, but also physically and emotionally. Students between 11 and 14 grow more in their life than any other time except 0 to 2. So the amount of growth can be as much physically as 8 to 10 inches. It occurs both emotionally, academically, and with achievement. And I promise you are in a great spot for your child to grow, because the staff and faculty and community of Blue Ridge Middle get middle school students. We will help manage that growth. We will enjoy that growth because it comes sometimes with opportunities for feedback, opportunities for making a mistake and then understanding that mistake, and even opportunities to take risks, such as trying an honors class or trying a new club. These are things that are appropriate, but sometimes our teens and tweens can be apprehensive at doing. But we know that those are experiences that help students grow, not just in the physical way that you can see the picture of my son, but also in the social-emotional way that makes us well-rounded students. So we're excited to meet that class of 2028 and help that growth begin. All right, so one of the key things that I think make our school very special is family, having a lot of fun, and having high achievement. You're going to hear a lot about those components. When we talk about family, we talk about great culture and tradition. We talk about students being emotionally well cared for. And that's all part of the culture and climate of this school. We get to know every student by their name. We have lots of opportunities to them become engaged with clubs, both during and after school. Some are academic, some might be social, so that we can, again, become a connected family. It takes work to bring together the class of 2028 or 2027 or 2026 as we pull together all of our 7 elementary schools into one graduating class. But we do it as a family, and I think you're going to see that throughout this presentation and as part of the overall culture of our school. Fun. You're going to hear a lot tonight about how much fun our students have, and learning should be fun. Kids should have opportunities to grow both in rigorous achievement and in clubs that is engaging and interesting and diverse. And finally, achievement. We want really, really bright bulldogs, and we work very hard to have a great faculty and to challenge students all the way through until we send them off to Loudoun Valley. So let's get started with a couple thoughts on family. So one family that everyone's going to meet next year is obviously the school's administration and some of the folks closely connected to the house. And the word house is a collection of students by grade. And we have 3 houses at Blue Ridge Middle. House A is 8th grade. House B is 6th grade, so that's the house for the class of 2028. And then we have House C, which is 7th grade. And you can see the family of folks that support that house is me, the 2 assistant principals, next year's dean, counselor, and every house has a secretary. What is very special about middle school in Loudoun County is that these adults move with your child. That is an important component. So when your child moves up to 7th grade, yes, they'll meet new teachers, but they'll still have the folks supporting them that know them and that can ease that transition, such as their dean, their counselor, myself, the assistant principals, and the house secretary. An additional extended family is our PTO. We have a fantastic PTO. They do many projects with the school. They help extend the boundaries of our learning with after-school clubs such as theater, and we have art club and photography club and running clubs. These are all clubs after school that our PTO helps sponsor. They're also integrally involved in a variety of different ways to create learning through community and through being part of our family. So we love our PTO and encourage all of our parents of rising class of 2028 to please take part in the PTO. There are no dues. We meet monthly, and we hope to see you in the PTO next year. So again, a little bit more about family. I've just included some ways in which we communicate, and I think it's really important to stress communication. We want all parents to feel connected to Blue Ridge. You're going to hear me say this a lot, and that is the only thing I don't like about middle school. and I really like middle school, is how quickly the students pass through. The 6th, 7th, and 8th grade seem to go in a blink of an eye. It's the shortest section of their schooling all through K to 12. And I promise it'll seem like this meeting we're having now will be coming right on the heels of an 8th grade end of year event. It just does go that quickly. So the way we bridge some of that gap of how quick it just seems to go by is communicating at a very high level. We have an excellent website with an up-to-date calendar. We send out weekly newsletters. We have all kinds of events happening at the school for students and for parents. We love to see folks on our campus for theater or various concerts or different things that are happening. So we really look forward to bringing you in to our Bulldog family, to making you part of a great start for the class of 2028. All right, I'm going to introduce our assistant principal, Mr. Matt Boland, who's going to talk a little bit about how much fun we have with all the activities that we love kids to be involved in. Here is Mr. Matt Boland.
Good evening, everyone. It's Mr. Boland here. So we are fully expecting to have our clubs and school activities next year to the greatest extent possible. We're going to take a look at what the current CDC recommendations are at the time and then move forward. But we do expect to have an active clubs and activities program next year at Blue Ridge. And we're really excited about that. Mr. Bell mentioned some of our clubs that we have. We do have many clubs that are offered before and after school. They are sponsored by our amazing PTO, and any student can sign up. So some examples of before and after school clubs, our famous theater program, a running club, robotics, photography, and writing. All of the sign-up information will be shared with you through a ConnectEd email. It'll be in our weekly s'mores, and we'll also make announcements during the school day so your kids will know what's going on. We also have a during the day, so these are clubs that happen during the school day. We have a during the day club program at Blue Ridge. All students participate in this club program, and the program happens the last 30 minutes of each Wednesday during school, and it is the between early November, March. We usually have over 60 different clubs the kids can choose from. Some of the clubs we've had in the past that kids can choose from are a chess club, sewing club, Foursquare, and my favorite club, the weather club. If you're interested in weather, I got a spot for you. Kids can also start their own club. They just need a Blue Ridge adult to serve as a sponsor. And some really popular student-led clubs that kids have started in the past were Dungeons and Dragons, anime, flag football, and dance club. So club creation and sign up begins in September. So keep an eye out for more information on that process as we start next year. We're really excited to meet our rising 6th grade Bulldogs and get them involved in our clubs and our activities. And what we love most about clubs and activities here at Blue Ridge is that it's a way to get kids connected around a common interest, build friendships, and it allows them time to have fun, time to connect to the school, and time to connect.
Thank you, Ms. Hawk, and sorry for the technical difficulties. So I'm not sure where we cut off. And of course, this seems to have been my fault, but I will start over, and I want to let you guys know that I am Steve Morris. I am currently the 8th grade dean. I will loop around next year and be with the 6th graders and the class of 2028 throughout their 6th, 7th, and 8th grade years at Blue Ridge. I want to take some time and let you know that we are committed to academic excellence for all students, to encourage them to be successful, responsible, and productive citizens. And when we talk about academic excellence, I want you to know that our teachers work extremely hard to create developmentally responsive lessons that provide the type of rigor that creates deeper learning, and it's not necessarily just more work. Our teachers do this in a variety of ways. A couple of ways would be through project-based learning activities that provide relevant learning experiences for our students, and also through personalized learning, which requires our teachers to understand the different levels of their students in their classroom, and they will adapt and adjust their lessons to meet the different learning styles and learning levels of each and every student in their classroom. We do recognize the importance of providing a climate where students' academic, social, and emotional needs are met. We are dedicated to providing a climate of high expectations and caring human relations. And I look forward to getting to know each and every one of the students for the class of 2028. And at this time, I'd like to introduce my colleague, the other assistant principal, Ms. Nancy Griffith-Cochran.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Griffith-Cochran. It's a pleasure to be with you, the parents of the class of 2028. I do want to remind everybody there is a bit.ly in the upper right-hand corner of the slide if you would like to send us any questions. And at the end of the presentations, we'll be answering those. We see them coming in, so we know some of you can see them, but bring the questions on. We really appreciate that. I do want to say that we really miss seeing all of you in person in the auditorium. One thing that is just a fun fact about myself and my fellow assistant principal, Mr. Matt Bolin, is that we both attended Blue Ridge ourselves. So we do put our heart and soul into our jobs here at Blue Ridge. Part of academic achievement, I'd like to talk about student services in relation to that. I want to reiterate that we really differentiate for all student learners and all levels of learners. We want to provide equitable opportunities for every student. Some of your children might have some sort of academic plan, maybe a child study, a 504, or an individualized education plan. If you're one of those parents and you haven't had a transition meeting yet, you will. When you have your annual meeting, a representative from Blue Ridge will attend. Next year, your contact for the child study will be your grade level counselor, Ms. Savastano, and you'll be meeting her in a few minutes. The 504 contact is one of our deans, Ms. Megan Baird. And then for individualized education plans, it's myself and our lead teacher, Mrs. Brooke Frame. One of us would have been probably at that transition meeting. In August, we assign case managers, so those people will be in touch at that time. And again, many questions are answered at the transition meeting. So if you haven't had it yet, you will, and we look forward to meeting you there. As far as academic delivery, if this is your first middle schooler, it's going to look different than elementary school in general because we switch classes. So in elementary school, the students are mainly in one room all day. And Mr. Bolin has a great story. His first day of 6th grade, he was sitting in House B and he didn't realize that you get up and change classes at the bell. So I think that's a great story because it really shows a lot of kids who don't have older siblings really don't realize the structure. Of course, we do a lot to prepare the students, but they all go to 4 different blocks an A day and 4 different blocks on a B day. We have a very high inclusion rate here at Blue Ridge. We have over 85% inclusion, which means that if your student does have an academic plan, they're in general education classes and they learn with their peers, which is good for all students. As part of our academic access, we offer culturally responsive opportunities as well. Our leadership team reflects weekly. We meet with our counseling team and the administrators and we say, what are we doing well and what can we do better to give students the best learning opportunities available? Our teachers are committed to developing themselves and being adult learners. And they want to reach all students and they want to communicate with you to do what's best for your children. We really work to offer that inclusive environment I described earlier from academic and cultural perspectives. And we really work to include the community as well. That might be a project-based learning situation, it might be a business partnership, or it might be just using the history that's all around us for our lessons in our daily lives. Middle school is a really, really special time. And as Mr. Bell said, it goes incredibly fast. Take those first day of school pictures and then compare them to the last day of 8th grade. I have one daughter who went through Blue Ridge. She's now a 5th grade teacher at Arcola, and I have another daughter who's an 8th grader, a rising freshman, and it just goes in the blink of an eye. So we want to tell you to cherish this time, and there will be challenging moments, but they are all worth it. So to really approach the whole child. We balance the clubs and the fun that Mr. Bolin described with the academics that I've talked about along with Mr. Morris. And in order to talk more about the social emotional learning in the whole child, it is my pleasure to introduce our lead counselor, Mrs. Erin Racino. Ms. Racino. Thank you.
Hi, I hope everyone's having a great night. My name is Erin Racino, and I am the lead counselor here at Blue Ridge, and I will actually be the 8th grade counselor next year. Our counseling department is made up of Penny Cohen, who will be the 7th grade counselor next year, and then Danielle Savastano, who will be your child's counselor in 6th grade. In middle school, grade level counselors actually loop with our grade level, so we really have the opportunity to get to know our students as they head through middle school, and we love it. The counseling department at Blue Ridge is very involved throughout the school. Our main purpose is to support the academic, social, and emotional well-being of the student. And it really takes us collaborating with multiple teams in order to make this happen. So we work very closely with the grade level teachers, our Unified Mental Health team, the PBIS team, our school's equity team, and like Ms. Griffith Cochran was saying, our administration. We honestly love what we do, and we do everything we can to help our students and families. So I am happy now to introduce you to Danielle Savastano, who will be the class of 2028 school counselor.
Hi guys, I'm Danielle Savastano, and I will be your child's 6th grade counselor, and I will be with them for all of middle school. I'm happy to say this is my 4th year here at Blue Ridge, and I'm not only excited to get to know your child, but all of you as well. It really takes a village. Up on the screen, I think my information is up there along with some course request options. But I also wanted to talk through some responsibilities and some ways that you can also get in contact with me here at Blue Ridge. So one of my jobs is to support academic progress. So I'm constantly analyzing data, looking through grades, collaborating with teachers, looking at MAP scores, SOL scores, and I will make sure that all the supports that your child needs are built into their schedule. I'm also here to address any social or emotional concerns, and that can range. So I'm really here just to try to make every day, week, month, just a little bit better. And please feel free to contact me with any type of concern. So we also still do classroom lessons here in middle school. Unlike elementary, where it may be every other week, we go in probably one time a quarter, and we cover lessons such as good habits, bullying, and career exploration. So on the screen, we talk about course requests and course selection. So I know I have a pretty funky name, so it's up on the screen for you to spell. So please review your child's course request in student and parent view, and email me if you have any questions whatsoever regarding those courses. So whether it be honors and academic, maybe you don't know what math to put your child in, anything to do with that. And then the last thing is parent-teacher conferences. So maybe your child is having some concerns or struggling in multiple classes. Please contact me, and I can set up a meeting with your teacher, your child's teachers, and we can get it all worked out. So I'm kind of your go-to person, and I collaborate with multiple people throughout the building. So please feel free to reach out whenever, and I'm so excited to meet all of you. And to wrap things up, Mr. Bell will be taking the floor once again.
Hi, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed meeting our team. A bit of a family of folks who are going to take good care of the class of 2028, and I'm going to stop presenting in just a moment and take some live questions, but I just kind of wanted to wrap up this portion. So this presentation is really about just giving you some beginning information. It can seem overwhelming. As it says on the screen, the goal is for the class of 2028 to be just academically, socially, and in all aspects, have a great experience at Blue Ridge. And our goal, the entire community's goal, is to work to make that happen. So we're excited about that. We're excited about that very, very soon, and look forward to communicating every single day during middle school to support that process. So as we transition over, pardon me? Yeah, as we transition over to the more questions that are streaming in, I just want to remind all parents that accompanying with the Connect Ed is a series of videos. So this event was a live event, but those videos have been curated to address every subject next year. So we've got videos on math and English and social science and PE and music. It's all there. We have a video from the guidance department. We have videos that cover many aspects, a little bit more in detail than just tonight's snapshot for next year. So please watch those videos and bring us questions. Probably the most important theme of tonight is communication. We are here for any questions. You can reach out to your child's counselor next year. That's going to be Miss Savastano, and you met her tonight. You can also always reach out to Mr. Morris, the dean next year for 6th grade, and you can always reach out to me. If you ever need our email, you can just go right to the Blue Ridge website, and we're all listed right there on front. And just click on our names and just say, hey, I'm a rising parent next year, and I've got a question about honors versus academic. Or I'm a rising parent for next year, and I'm not real sure about band instruments or band rental or catching the bus or the mitigation strategies that we may have in place next year, or what will school look like. And we will get back to you, because communication is going to just lower and help all of the anxiety, because transition creates anxiety, and we want to make the easiest transition and make it seamless. Okay, so I'm going to stop presenting and move into the live event. Again, if you have a question, we are monitoring the bit.ly at the top. Just click on the bit.ly and type in your question, and we're going to answer questions as they come in and kind of categorize them in groups. So we may talk about courses at honors versus academic. We may talk about mathematics. We may talk about scheduling, but we're going to look at those. And if you have a question, then just put it right into the bit.ly, and we'll do our best to give you an answer. Obviously, this will generate questions as you watch the videos, and I just want to stress again the communication piece that links us together for success for your child. Okay, so we're going to transition over at this time. All right, hi everybody. I am back, but I'm probably not a small square. I'm a little bigger square. So I am right here, and I have a board of all of your questions, and I'm just going to try to run through them as they come in. We certainly appreciate that you've sent us questions, and again, communication and questions help us to make this transition go wonderfully. Here are some questions that I'm seeing. Visits before the first day of school. We typically have students from elementary schools come visit. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to have elementary visits this year at the end of this particular school year. So we will, obviously, we'll have to work within the context of Loudoun County Public School mitigation strategies, but we will have an orientation as best we're allowed to prior to the first day of school. So as Loudoun County Public Schools has already said, we will have 5-day-a-week school next year. And it's certainly our goal to have students have an orientation where they can physically be present in our building prior to the first day of school. We'll just have to make sure we follow all guidelines. We will communicate that through ConnectEds sent directly to your email, just like tonight was sent to you. So we are now connected through ConnectEds so that you will be getting updates from us, keeping you in the loop for critical things like orientations and different things of that nature. It's a great question. So there's some questions on bus times over the summer. All of that information is loaded into Parent View. However, it usually doesn't get loaded until August. So you might be curious about how the middle school bus stop is different than the elementary bus stop, and that's a great question. Look for that, I would say, about mid-August. If you do have middle school students in your neighborhood, typically bus stops don't change that much. So it would probably be around the same location, same bus, and same time. Blue Ridge's hours are 8:50 to 3:38. And we do expect that to be the same for next year. So that's 8:50. So students arrive by bus and car or walk prior to 8:50. And then at 8:50, we start school and we go to 3:38. So I'm looking over at our board and I see an excellent question about the balance between honors and academic. That's excellent. So I'm going to touch a little bit on honors and academic. Typically, each elementary school teacher makes recommendations based on diagnostic testing like MAP, based on grades, based on other diagnostics that could be classroom-based, to put children into an honors or academic setting that they believe best meets where they are academically. We appreciate the hard work of our elementary schools. Our elementary schools are simply top-notch. The administration and the hard work of our elementary teacher and feeder schools are just superb. We find that a lot of their recommendations are frankly spot on. So if your child was recommended for all honors or recommended for a mix of honors and academic, it has been our experience that the teachers in elementary school know their students and make excellent recommendations. If you're concerned about workload, please give us a call. You can call Miss Savastano, you can call me, you can call Miss Racino as our lead counselor, or Mr. Morris. We would be happy to talk through, get to know you a little bit about the way that your child works, the way they prioritize their evenings and their work habits, what things they've signed up for. For example, honors language arts does require more reading, more technical reading, more in-depth reading and writing. That's part of the rigor that makes it an honors course. If your child may be a reluctant reader, they can still certainly sign up for honors, but that may be a conversation that we have to try to understand that demand prior to jumping into the course. And if you as a family feel that might be something you would try in 7th grade, but not 6th grade, then we could make schedule changes all the way up to June 1st. So please, talk to us. We are so happy to talk about mathematics. We are happy to talk about honors and academic. We are happy to talk about middle school anything. Music rentals, whatever is on your mind, just give us a quick email or call, and we will work with you and the elementary recommendation so that we put your child in the best possible place. I cannot stress that enough, because changing schedules after the start of school can be somewhat disruptive to your child, especially if they can go through a week or two and get to know some friends, and then all of a sudden we decide, oh gosh, we really want to do this differently. Sometimes that does happen, but we like to work out as much as we can in the summertime. So we can talk through map data for math. We can talk through map data for reading. We can talk about background knowledge and interest science and social studies, that we can make a great decision to put each child in a place where they're starting the year strong and they're really focused on getting to know and make new friends. Part of that transition process and feeling at ease about every aspect of middle school. So that is a little bit about honors and academic. So there's some questions about lockers and mitigation strategies in 5-day-a-week school. Much of that we don't know. I would certainly like to have lockers next year. I would like us to have as normal a year as possible. However, mitigation strategies and safety is an important component. I hope all of your family has been safe through this very challenging time. It's been very different, both in education and many aspects of our lives. So I believe that some of that will return to normal, such as 5-day-a-week school. But I also think that there may be remnants of mitigation strategies that hold over in the fall. We will be very clear throughout the fall, and I'm sure you'll see this through the division level Connect Eds, about whether masks or social distancing or lockers will be part of August and September timeframe. So we'll just have to see. But be rest assured, Blue Ridge takes safety of all students and staff very seriously. And we will always have the cleanest, best, safest environment for students and staff. So I'm looking over at my question board. So there's some questions about mental health and first aid and counselors and nurses. That's an excellent question. So our nurse is a registered nurse. She is excellent. She is here every single day, and she is available for students to help in a variety of situations. For example, the school has around 20 diabetics, and we work with those students and families, but we also are here each day for students who just aren't feeling well. Blue Ridge Middle has a lot of support staff. We have a social worker here 100% of the time, and we have a school psychologist. We have a unified mental health team that looks constantly at any data trend to make sure that we're always doing our best to have an emotionally sound and exciting atmosphere. So there's a lot of support for kids because middle school, as we talked about before, can be a great time of change. Anticipate that your child's going to make new friends. And sometimes that affects other friendships. Moving in and out of friendships is part of middle school, but sometimes moving in and out of friendships can be challenging. Who sits with whom on the bus? Who might be sitting with whom at lunch, at the lunch table? These can be very, very important details to a school day. And the school counselor and the support team of Blue Ridge is here to help kids navigate those growing pain type waters with ease and including you as parents in each of those situations. So I'm looking over at my question board. So there's a great question about bridging the gap. Obviously, this last year has been very interesting in terms of pacing and curriculum and rigor. Hats off to the great teachers in elementary and middle school and high school. They've been working extremely hard, and I see it every day at Blue Ridge Middle School, and I know it's happening at elementary and high school. However, many students or some students may have gaps in curriculum. We're anticipating that. We're anticipating that students may have been acquainted with content, but maybe not at the depth that they would in a normal school setting. And we're going to review that content. There may be a little extra homework than what we typically have or use of resource, but our teachers are aware of that, and we want to close those gaps within that year. For selected students, we may reach out to you about a reading lab or math lab, depending on MAP scores or various different suggestions from parents or fifth grade teachers. We take that gap very seriously, and we'll work hard to work with families and students, not for kids to feel penalized, but feel supported and caught up. So there's a question about virtual learning next year. And that decision would be made at the division level. So as a building principal, I'm not entirely sure how that might look. I believe that a virtual option may be available next year, but don't have any details and would imagine that those details would become available probably in July or maybe June about whether virtual is available for the fall 2021-22 school year. So there's a question about enrollment. We are the smallest middle school of the 17 middle schools. Next year, we're projected to have between 850 and 900 students. We have students that move in. We have some students that have been homeschooled who come back in middle school. So we're going to probably end up somewhere in that range. The 6th grade students coming in are projected to be about 260. That's about average for our classes. We have on average, let's say a little bit more, about 285 per grade. But this group is right there with the projected 265 for next year. So I'm looking over at my question board, and there's some questions about honors versus non-honors classes. So please email Ms. Savastano, and we will take care of the questions on honors versus non-honors classes. We do encourage kids to take academic risk. We don't want kids to always stay in an academic line. Middle school is about growth and support. So if a student has background information and loves a subject, and you're kind of on the line of honors versus academic, try honors. If you're not quite sure, give us a call. We'll be very frank and upfront about the curricular needs of the course and whether it's in the best interest of kids. Mathematics can be often a course where parents are between Math 6 or a foundations course. And that is an excellent topic because there's a real pace difference in curriculum between a foundations course and Math 6. And we may have conversations, lots of conversations about math. And those are great conversations because students who get a couple weeks into math in foundations and then some have to drop back to Math 6. We'd like very much, because transition can be challenging, because sometimes that requires rescheduling a couple classes, to have those conversations now and in the later part of the spring, say April, May, June, so that we have everything as correct as we can. So please reach out to us about mathematics, reach out to us about workload and honors. So we, again, really appreciate all of these questions. We wish we were together all talking about this. We certainly hope that in some small way, just presenting tonight and sending the videos brings us together and creates that family that is so important at Blue Ridge. Although we may not be together in the building, we are all together as Bulldogs. So that means a lot to us. What we do matters is our slogan, because we believe that impact on our community as great citizens is a key component to building great, wonderful middle school kids and having a wonderful community. Blue Ridge turns 50 years old next year with the introduction of the class of 2028. So the class of 2028 comes in to this great celebration of how this amazing school has impacted this community for 50 years. And that is something to be really excited about. And we're going to celebrate all year long. So look forward to that. Look forward to being here as a Bulldog. And please, communication, reach out to us as much as you need so that the transition is absolutely seamless. So I'm the principal, Brian Bell. I really enjoyed talking to you tonight. My whole team enjoyed meeting you through our town hall and look forward to meeting you in person very soon. Have a great evening and bye-bye.